Kevin Tomayko back here at Trinity Senior Village again today, here with my father, Ken Tomayko, for another work in progress. Just wanted to do a quick interview with Ken and talk about the property and why we're doing this. Right now we're standing in the courtyard of the second building as it's getting worked on. And Ken, if you would, tell me what brought you to wanting to do this project?
Probably it's going to be 3 years ago in August. We were at an event held by our CPAs and lawyers, and the concept of residential assisted living was introduced to us at that time, and I gravitated to it for a number of reasons. First of all, of course, by the business side of it, it looked like it was a business that probably had a 40-year shelf life or better, and will be growing in the near future, of course, as the baby boomers like myself become older. But really, I mean, it was not only the business part of it, but it was also the concept of being able to do something a little bit better than what's being done in the industry. Our idea is to have a place for seniors to live that need help, that can continue to socialize and be involved, not just sitting in a chair being neglected. And so our idea is that we want them to socialize. We want them to be part of a community. We don't want them sitting in their rooms. Right. We're hoping that this concept is one that will really grow, and it'll be a better life for them.
Right.
We want to know who they were. We want to know that, we want everybody to know that they were actually they were very productive people in their life, and so that's kind of the idea behind what we're trying to achieve here.
Right. So you mentioned we want to kind of celebrate who they are through that. So we have a few things in mind, right, to be doing once we open to celebrate that. But also there's a few things I think we're trying to do a little different. Are there any items that you'd like to point out with that?
Well, yeah, we're going to be utilizing some technologies here that the typical place, the home, the facility, if they're larger, and we're not going to be, we're trying to be something a little much smaller than the typical kind of place where these folks that need these services live in. And one of them it's called Care Predict, where it can actually, it's a wristband on each person, and it can measure just how they're doing. If they're, it measures their drinking, eating habits, or toileting habits, their gait when they're walking. It can predict that if there's going to be something going on that may be a health concern. In addition to that, we're utilizing it's another technology called It's Never Too Late, where people can actually do games, can do different things. They actually visit. Part of it, you can go visit the street they used to live on. So I mean, there's some great things there. I mean, one of the things my wife just kind of talked about the other day in the assisted living is that bring a sewing machine in, and for some of the people that may be seamstresses or do something in a craft that maybe they can utilize a sewing machine. Right. Something I never would have thought of, and I just think it's a great idea to differentiate us from some of these other places and make it feel more like their own home. Mm-hmm. Another thing we're going to do is we're going to have a plaque outside of each person's room, basically giving a brief description of this person's life. Yeah. So they're just not another number to either the caregivers or the other residents. So it's very important that we celebrate these people.
Great. All right. Was there any last thoughts
Well, this thing is moving along. The construction phase of it's moving along quite nicely. This is the second building. The other building, they're actually starting to put the floor down, and you know they've already painted the base coat of paint and so on and so forth. I think we're going to be open and ready for residents in the late August, early September timeframe. So we're very excited to get this project moving. And I want to thank my son Kevin, who's been doing these things. He's an architect, been invaluable to the process, as have all three of my kids. My other son, Brian, has got a lot of restaurant experience, so he's heading up that food service kind of end of it. And my daughter has some medical background, and she's going to be actually be very involved in the operations of this facility. So the family is great to have them on board, and we are very appreciative of everybody. Our executive director has been working with us for over a year now, Kay, and so yeah, thank you so much, Kevin, for doing this.
All right. Well, thank you, and we will check back with you next week. All right. Bye.
Awesome. Thanks.